Okay, namaste. Today we are looking at strength training supplements in menopause and debunking it. In my last conversation with Andrea, we uncovered the hidden dangers of osteoporosis in menopause and why protecting our bones takes just a little bit more than hitting the gym or rolling out a yoga mat with weights. But today we're diving into another topic, right? Strength training supplements. Now, social media is just on fire at the moment. Fitness magazines, health professionals, everyone telling menopausal women that they must lift heavy weights, chug protein shakes, and even add creatine to their daily routine if they want to stay strong and, keep osteoporosis at bay. But here's the question. Is all that protein powder really necessary or even safe for women in midlife? Could creatine, for example, be doing more harm than good? And more importantly, what should we be focusing on to get the results without wasting money or risking our health? Joining me again today is Andrea Marsh, a holistic menopause specialist who has extensively researched supplements and to cut through all the hype, challenge the myths, and she's going to be giving us the facts on how it's best, safest to build strength in menopause without falling for expensive fads. Hello, Andrea.
Hi, Julianne. It's lovely to see you again.
Thank you, and you too. So, not long ago, we talked about osteoporosis, didn't we? And this is kind of linked because I think people think lifting weights, strength training keeps osteoporosis at bay. And yes, it definitely helps, but there was more to it, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But today, we want to focus on strength training and this loading up on protein powders and creatine. From a supplement perspective, what's fact and what's marketing hype? Like, do we need it?
Right. Is that specifically about creatine or is that about supplements? Or
you can start, you can choose.
Okay. Well, creatine is an interesting one. It has been heavily researched and traditionally it was like bodybuilders. And I also know from friends in the past that bodybuilders just eat about 20 chicken pieces a day. And the two are linked. So creatine is what's called a compound amino acid. And the amino acids that it's made up of are three of them. Two of them we produce ourselves, and then one comes in from food sources like meat. And then the three of them together create creatine. Yes, creatine predominantly goes to the muscles. And when it goes to the muscles, it also does hold onto water. That's very important to know. And then when you start creatine loading, then you start helping cognitive function. So it can be good for brain health as well. And as part of this research, because I do take it seriously, I tried it. And I have to say, I do feel that it gave me more stamina when doing swimming. And I did notice that, yes, I was on the go a bit more. So it interacts with the very fundamental building blocks of the body, the mitochondria in energy conversion. So, what they say about creatine does work, but is it right for you is the question.
Sorry, before we go on to risks and so on, could a vegetarian take creatine? Are they vegetarian?
Yeah. So creatine coming in through food sources comes from meat and fish. So we naturally, from what we eat, will create something like 1 to 2 grams of creatine a day. If you're not getting food sources, then you are going to make less creatine. It comes in limited wise. Some of the amino acids are in things like beans and lentils and nuts, so you will get some. But yes, vegetarians and vegans are definitely at a disadvantage in that respect. But then remember, 2 of the 3 building blocks are from within ourselves, and then the third component is coming in through food. Yeah.
For me, it's the risk. With these protein powders and creatine, especially when our bodies are changing with all the fluctuating hormones and so on. Like, what are the risks?
So, like any fad, and this applies to anything, if you go at it and think that is your magic pill, that's the one fix wonder, that's the problem. It's people's mentality that's the problem, more so than maybe what they're taking. Yes, there's a quality issue. So specifically for protein, if you can afford the organic grass-fed whey protein, that is the best you can get. When you're buying something cheap and cheerful, who knows what you're getting? It's as simple as that. You pay for quality. I'd rather have that money go towards my vitamins and minerals. With the creatine, again, there's a quality thing, but probably maybe less so than with the protein powders. But some people are naturally high in creatine. So it's one of those things suddenly that becomes more like a bit like vitamin D. You know, some people are high in vitamin D. Some people, synthesize vitamin D and create it very well, and other people don't. Which one are you? And so when I tried creatine and I noticed a boost to my energy, that was great. But what about long-term effect if I am a person with naturally high creatine? Though the researchers are that it's pretty safe for kidneys, it is a question that is asked if you've got a kidney issue, are you taking a creatine supplement? So there are links. So it's about the sensibility of the person taking these things, and it always is. That's why I try to educate people to question what they're taking and how they're taking it, and very importantly, listening to those changes in the body and how the body feels. Because if you're a low energy or fatigued person, it could be you need X, Y, and Z supplements, and actually you feel so much better on them, and that becomes a lifestyle, lifelong commitment. And then other people, it could be because creatine can create gas and bloating. The water being held in the muscles can imbalance the electrolytes of your body. So it's, yes, you can try creatine, but be careful and listen to what your body tells you. If you start feeling very uncomfortable after being on it for a week or two, your body is telling you, whoa, maybe this is too much creatine. So you must listen to the signs. You mustn't just go, oh, somebody told me I must take this, and you chug it every day blindly. That's wrong. It is, okay, I'm starting this. How do I feel after a day? How do I feel after 2-3 days? How am I after a week? Are there any side effects that I personally feel from doing this? And that's the education around taking anything.
So women assume when we have more protein, it's more muscle. So we would top up on a protein powder or something like that. How much protein do we need? If you're doing strength training, and I know it depends like how much strength training you're doing and so on. And does the source matter? Should we be topping up with protein powders?
I'd say the source matters. The better the source, the better. The problem is that when you go to protein powders, unless you go to an extremely good company, you don't really know what you're getting in a powder. It's like anything. Look at the ingredients. Why are they putting sweeteners or bulking agents in? It should be pure, whatever it is. And most of the pure things come from companies online, and there's a price tag. I would say go to a reputable company that you know. But is more protein, more muscle? Yes or no? But I see, again, it's my issue is that singling out one thing when I'm holistic. I don't just deal with the muscles, I deal with the joints as well, and what is creating the joint situations. So the muscles are one element of your joints. So what was the first part of the question? So that was the quality.
Like we assume. So for example, I've just launched a yoga with weights. Women who are practicing yoga with me, They can practice classes where they're using very light dumbbells with their yoga poses. And they're loving it. It's great. Should they now, if they're bulking up, should they, I mean, it's over time, but should they be taking a protein supplement? Is it necessary to support them?
Yeah, okay. In that scenario, I would say it's more to do with how they feel after the class, maybe the day after the class. Right. If you're feeling achy and tired after these classes, or you're getting overly emotional, because when we get tired we can then snap easily and things like that, or sleep becomes impaired on the day you do those classes, that would, even if you enjoy the class in the moment, it's actually about the after effects over the following 24 hours. If you feel that you decline in any way, or you are then craving the next class, all of those are signs and symptoms that your body chemistry is out of whack.
Okay, cool.
And then in that case, it's like, what does my body need? I would say probably better to give it a multivitamin and magnesium over a protein powder. A protein powder is, if you're looking to have really good bulky muscle definition, protein powder might be the way. If you're a person that isn't getting enough protein in your diet and that you want to take it as I'm actually, funnily enough, that's where I am at the moment. If you're a person that's got cravings in the morning that your breakfast isn't big enough, you're probably not getting enough protein. So to answer you, the first part of your question, which was how much protein, you know what? There are people out there that say 60 grams a day, which isn't very much when you think a sausage is 50 grams or something, But I would say it depends on your size. It depends on your energy levels. It depends on your energy requirements during the day. You need to be taking your protein, if you can, 3 times a day. It's good to take it regularly. The amount you take comes down to, I think, your hunger levels and your fatigue levels.
Right. Oh, so I understood that you would, for example, have protein directly, isn't it, so many minutes after you've finished training? No.
Possibly, but that isn't my speciality. And again, I would say you're coming more from a person that is on about strength and bulk training.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm coming more from the viewpoint, especially in the menopause, health actually, that what your body needs, because your body runs on proteins, and proteins are built by amino acids, which comes back to the creatine element. It is fuel. Protein is fuel for your body, so it should be there throughout the day, because it helps with the blood glucose levels. So if you want more balanced energy through the day, whether that's physically or brain health, energetically, it should be in your diet. If you're the type of person that wants to load after a training session to help repair, yes, it probably does help with repair, as does magnesium and vitamins and minerals. You don't want to overload on protein to the point where you don't want any, oh no, I can't stomach that. If you're forcing something down and going, oh, I'm really chugging this down, your body is telling you it doesn't want it. So it's a balancing act. So I would say regular protein throughout the day. And then, yes, if you're the type of person that feels that you need a protein shake after doing exercise, then yes, you probably are.
So if we have a well-balanced diet, with, significant levels of protein throughout the day, we wouldn't necessarily need to top up. Is it even possible to have the right amount of protein from a diet? Yes,
it's probably, in a way, protein is probably easier to ensure you get the right amount of protein than vitamins and minerals, because funnily enough, a lot of your vitamins and minerals come from plant-based foods, which are the ones that are really suffering. But then a lesser quality meat probably wouldn't have the same vitamins and minerals as organic, very well looked after meat. Is it possible to have enough protein in your diet? To a degree, yes, but it all depends what your requirements are. If you have
What you're doing, I guess.
yeah, so I don't rule it out. I find when I have a protein shake, it stops me wanting to snack. So because the protein element balances out the blood sugar levels.
Yeah.
So if you're a person that finds, so say you do a yoga session at 11 a.m., but you don't eat properly at lunchtime, are you craving something sweet or are you falling asleep by 3 p.m.?
Yeah.
If that was the scenario, then either protein at lunchtime or a protein shake after your workout or your yoga might then see you through to dinner without having that energy slump.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about not slumping in energy.
Sorry?
It's about not slumping in energy at any point during the day.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think, a protein shake or supplement or something, it does keep you fuller for longer. I know when I've done an intensive workout, if I have a protein shake, I'm good. I'll have breakfast as well. I'll do both. And they're also handy when you're on the go and you haven't time to eat properly.
Yes, absolutely. It's better. Because I actually switched to protein shakes for my lunch in the spring because, I'm seeing clients all day and times change, and I wasn't getting enough to get me through the afternoon. So I did, but it wasn't just a protein powder. I put Greek yogurt in or, almond milk. So, and the protein powder is an element of it. Plus I put in my multivitamin, my magnesium. So it's fully nutritious, and then I put berries in as well. So I've created a meal. I'm not just chugging a powder. A powder is an element of something nutritionally rich. I
stir mine sometimes into Greek yogurt. It makes like a really fluffy, whippy kind of texture.
Oh, nice. Texture is important. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it is. So, okay, so should the focus then, we don't necessarily need these top-ups. If we want to build strength safely in menopause, should the focus be on nutrition and supplements? Where do you see the biggest misconceptions?
Everybody's always looking for the quick fix, aren't they?
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing strength training. The one thing I see in my hands-on clinic, I saw it last night. When you do strength training, you also need flexibility with that strength, and you also need to allow the muscles to relax after you've done the strength training. Otherwise, you end up as a body on my couch in pain. So there's the two things. One, there is no quick fix from the supplemental point of view. No. But there seems to be added benefits of protein powders, creatine, but my good old standard is vitamins and minerals.
Yeah. Nice.
And then on the actual physical exercise side, everybody hops over the cool down.
Yes.
Which leaves the muscles, your muscle fibers, it will leave them in a locked state because muscles tend to only release maybe about 90%. So each time you do a workout, if it's only doing 90% of 90% of 90% of 90%, then after a month, your muscles are pretty locked.
Yeah.
Locked muscles are not flexible muscles. In Chinese medicine and the theory of health, we aim to be like a tree, which is strong and flexible. Yeah. So the flexibility is incredibly important because if you're not flexible, muscles need to be bouncy. So if you fall on them, or you turn or twist, they need to be able to turn, twist, and bounce. So a strong muscle is still not great for you if it's not a bouncy, flexible muscle.
Yeah, honestly, that is music to my ears. And for me, that's my pet frustration with the industry at the moment. Like every woman lifting these big heavy weights in the gym. Great. But they can't bend and touch the toes. They've got lack of that flexibility. They haven't got the the neck rotation and so on that we need as we get older. And it's the two combined that we need.
Yeah.
great aesthetic look if you've got these ripped muscles and so on, but yeah, it's just this hype, isn't it? Everyone gets fixed on something, and we forget the basics. Yeah, like what you're putting into your body and so on.
Yeah, and how easy you can move. And a lot of my advice is dance around the kitchen, because if you can dance around the kitchen, you've probably got some, if you can do a twist, or you can do some Latin music or something and get the body moving fine. But if you find you're sticky and jerky, and you can't twist, and again, my discipline, shiatsu, it's all about the flexibility.
Yeah, of course. That's so important. We need to be able to move the body as it should be able to move. And the spine moves in 6 different ways, and we should be able to move through all of those planes of motion, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Thank you for clearing this up, because a lot of people have been asking, about protein and creatine, and there's a lot out there at the moment. So it's nice to have a holistic view on it. And I know you're not saying yes or no, you're giving a very balanced view, which is great, so people can make their own minds up. Guys, if you have any questions at all for Andrea, just drop a comment and she'll get back to you, or myself if I can answer. Andrea, thank you so much. Will you continue with the creatine, by the way?
I stopped because I did realize that I had some elasticated jeans on, and I realized it was cutting into me, so it was starting to make me bloat about 10 days in, I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's the last thing we want, a menopausal woman wants.
Yeah, so I was like, I've tried it, and we'll see. But it's something to hold, because I feel like it does give something on the day. I'll keep it in the cupboard.
Oh, no, it's good to know, right? And it's good.
I don't think, would I use it every day? No. For me, it's vitamins and minerals.
Good. Well, once again, thank you so much, and I'm sure you'll be back, because we never cover everything.
I know, there's so much to talk about.
Isn't it? Thank you so much. I'll see you again soon.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.